Anthony Hartwig here with the South Range Boys Basketball Player Profile. I'm joined by Dylan Turvey. Dylan, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into the meat of this interview and ask you about the season, first of all, kick game is strong. I think you got the best kicks on the team easily. How much pride do you take in the shoes you wear?
Oh, like I just love wearing basketball shoes, man. Like that's one thing I just spend most of my money on. Like I worked at Arby's and I literally spent like all my paychecks on basketball shoes.
That is perfect. What are some of the favorite shoes that you've been able to wear?
Well, I like the Lamellos, but my dad doesn't let me wear them anymore because he thinks that I get called for travels a lot because they like look at my feet. So now I like wearing the Paul Georges because they're like a little bit lighter. I feel a little more light on my feet with those on.
You've also had, a good color scheme with these shoes. What are some of the favorite color schemes that you have in your kicks?
Well, I have like these tie dye ones like pink and blue. I really like to wear. I got like lime green that I like, and then I have these other just pink ones I like to wear too.
How many shoes do you have in your closet?
Well, in my basketball locker, I think I have 7, and then at the crib, I got quite a few here.
There you go. I mean, you got to spend your money on something, right?
Yeah, something.
Everyone's got their vices. All right.
Yeah.
So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into this basketball season. Obviously, we've talked to a couple of your teammates already today. We talked about the start of it and what kind of were the keys to turning it around from your perspective in that locker room. What were some of the things that happened after that 0-5 start that really turned this team around and were the reasons that you guys were able to start winning?
We were just like tired of what was going on outside of basketball, and we just wanted to come together and just start to play. Like we didn't really care like who it was or anything. We just wanted to play basketball basically.
How much did the football team state run and getting those players back and getting them into, the basketball stride help you guys realize that the start wasn't as bad as it looked?
I like it. The big thing was getting the football players' legs. Like at the beginning of the season, they were dead. It wasn't until like probably like the 6th or 7th game they were finally starting to get their legs back for basketball.
All right, so when you think about a point in the season, maybe it was a game or a stretch in a game, when did the confidence in this team start to really click and you start to realize that you guys could put together something special?
I think it was when we beat Louisville. Like that game was probably one of the funnest games I've been a part of. Like Louisville coming in undefeated and us having only like one win on the season, like really proved that like we're here to battle.
And then you guys went on and you guys are 8-0 in one possession games. I mean, down the stretch, you guys make clutch plays. It seems like it's your job. What do you think has been the key factor in this team's ability to pull out these close games and stay calm down the stretch and be able to make those plays when you have to?
We simulate these type of like game moment. Like we do like under like 30-second game moments in practice. So like I think that really helps us during the games because like literally almost all of our games have been within like 10 points.
A lot of players on this team can score, and they've all proved it this year. Seems like your scoring ability really took a ramp up the last couple weeks of the season. What has been the difference for you down the stretch, and what got your confidence going?
Well, like I just do whatever I can to help us win. Like some days it might be just distributing the ball to like Landon, Luke, Aiden, and then some days like I just gotta score. Like they're not hitting their shots, so I just gotta step up and start scoring.
You've been on this floor for a while. You've been a starter. You've been a pin into this team for a while. What have been some of the things and experiences that you've leaned on this year to help pull this team up in the times when it needed to be pulled up?
Well, like we've never like this as long as I've been here, we've never had like a winning season. Like and I just was really tired of, like not winning. Like I just hate losing, and I think like this year we had the right guys and we bought in together, and now we're starting to win.
Let's go back to the last game of the regular season. Obviously, you guys are one game back in the NE8. You're going to Jefferson, which is a tough place to go. They hadn't lost a home game. You have to win this game to earn a share of the NE8. What was that feeling like to go on the road to Jefferson, beat the Falcons, and earn the program's first NE8 championship?
Oh, that was awesome. That was probably my if Louisville was my favorite game this year, it was that one. Like going out there, beating them at Jefferson. Like after that long bus ride, we started off real slow, but we fought our way back into it, and I feel like we deserved a part of that NE8 title.
All right, so those were your two favorite games. What are some of your favorite moments this season? There's been a lot of thrilling moments, a lot of great memories that this team has made. What has been your favorite moment of the season so far?
Uh, my favorite moment was Landon hitting the three to go into overtime against Jefferson. Like he was celebrating, I was just laughing because he's not a big celebrator most of the time, but he hit his like first three of the season and he was going crazy.
You know, a lot of people look at this team and say you only have one senior, so a lot of young players have to step up. But that senior is pretty important. And Lane
Yeah, he
Leone,
is.
what kind of rock has he been for you guys? He's hitting his share of game winning shots as well. But he comes off of that state championship on the football team where he's a big part of that. What kind of leadership and rock has he been for you guys throughout this season?
Like he just kind of knows like he's a very like Aiden's very smart. He just knows like constantly like where to position us and like how to help us out, like where we should be on the court and everything.
I've also talked to your teammates about the bond this team has and how it's grown this year. What's it like being in a locker room where when you say it's a brotherhood like every team does, this team lives it out, this team you can feel it, this team, lives it. What's it like to be in a locker room like that?
Oh, it's fun. Like there's no other way to put it. Like having like we have 20 brothers all together. Like we have a PlayStation locker room and like we play and then we would go at each other, but we know it's just all fun.
What game is the most popular on the sticks in that locker room?
Oh, we got it's 2K obviously. Yeah.
When you're playing 2K, who's your go-to team?
Oh, I mean it might sound soft, but I use the Golden State Warriors because I just like to shoot. So
Um, who's the best at it though? Who's the best on the team at it?
2K, I would probably say either Crummy or Noah Delator. He's
Uh,
he's a good 2K kid.
about when you're practicing on the floor and you're trying to keep competitive with each other, what kind of things do you guys do in practice to compete as a team?
Oh, we talk crap to each other all the time. Like that's the big thing. Like in practice, like we will talk so much crap, but then out of practice, we're just brothers. Like we know it's only in practice. We're just trying to get each other better.
Who's the best trash talker on the team? Who's got that one that like they can cut into your soul if they have to?
Uh, I would say Brady Crumbacher, honestly. Like he just says like stuff like it just gets me mad sometimes. Like just hearing it come out of his mouth just makes me mad.
When you're in those moments competing with your team in the practices in the parts of the season where you have to push yourself, what kind of things do you lean on mentally to get through those times and get through the long stretch of a basketball season?
Like I don't know. Like I just know like you just gotta like persevere through the challenges that we have. Like eventually something good will happen, even though something good's not happening right now. As long as you get through this challenge, like you'll eventually be rewarded for what you've done.
All right, first in the eight championship. Now you're going for the program's first district championship. Obviously, one step at a time, but you're going to Warren Harding on tomorrow night. What's that going to feel like to be on this stage and to have a chance to give this program their first district championship?
I mean, personally, I just want to go out there and have fun. I don't think really any of our game plan will change. I think we're just going to do what we have to do to win, and then I just think we're just going to go out and try to have some fun.
With the thrilling game-winning, shots and the offense that you guys have been putting together this year, a lot of people overlook this defense that you guys have. You've won a couple games where the other team has a chance to win and you don't let them shoot. What has this defense been like, and how much pride does this team take in their defense?
Well, I think the main thing is we hate letting people score on us. Like we just gotta play hard defense. Like, and I normally it doesn't mean a lot of people, but our team we enjoy playing defense.
Take us back to the game where the defense came up the biggest, that Springfield game where they had the ball for about the last 30 seconds, but they still couldn't get a shot off. What was that like being on the other end, being the defensive team in a game-winning situation, knowing that you guys have to get a stop to win this game?
The big thing on our defense during the Springfield game at that like when they held that ball for a while and they had that last shot, all of us were constantly talking on the floor. Like we were all communicating with each other, making sure we all knew what was going on.
When you have a team that you trust as much as you guys do, how easy is that to communicate on the floor on defense?
Oh, like it's like effortless. Like it's just like we're talking to each other in like class or like at lunch or something. Like we just know like we know who to listen to and like how to respond to them and then just build off of each other.
As we're talking about the bond that you built this year with this team, what teammate do you think you've gotten to know the most over the stretch of the season?
This stretch, I would say Luke Rowan. I wasn't real close with Luke going into this year, but like this year we've gotten real close. And I've always been close with Brady and Landon and like Matthew and Baxter, but I would say I've gotten closer with Luke Rowan this year.
Let's talk about Luke. Your perimeter threat, your deadly eye shooter. There was a stretch where he hit 17 threes in 3 games. What's it like to see a teammate start to feel it like that? Know almost every shot he puts up, he's not going to miss.
Oh, it's I just love watching him play. Like it's like he just knows, like he calls it after it goes out of his hand, and like I was just impressed with him, like that he has that confidence just to let it fly.
When you have a shooter like that, does it give the rest of the players confidence too? Like, okay, if he's going out there and shooting, maybe I can go out there and do it too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like in practice, like Luke will start hitting some threes, and then Landon will get the imagination that he can start hitting threes, and then he'll start pulling it. But
What do you think is one thing this team can improve on as you go into districts and you can still get better at?
the thing we got to improve on probably is like making the extra pass. Like sometimes we don't make the extra pass, but we still get the good shot. But we can make one more pass and get the great shot.
All right, so we've talked about how getting through the tough situations, what you've done mentally. What about some people in your life that have helped you through that stuff and the role models that you have in your life?
I would definitely say my parents. My parents like just helped me with everything. Like even at the beginning of the season, they were always talking to me, making sure everything was good, and like they always were there to support me and everything. And then my grandparents too, they were always there to help. And then just like my teammates, basically, we were always checking in on each other, making sure everything was going good.
What's the biggest form of advice you've gotten from those role models?
I mean, I would say like from my parents, I would say that like just go play. Like just don't let the outside stuff bother you. Just go play. Just go play your game.
You've stepped into a leadership role this year, but this team, has had good leaders that have graduated the last couple of years. Who have been some players that have moved on from South Range, whether it be on the basketball team or just senior leaders in the school system that you've kind of leaned on to teach you how to lead over the years?
I mean, my freshman year, Nate Brown was I would say our leader. He really like made sure everyone was good and like checked on everyone. And then last year, I would say Mark Naples was our leader, and he helped out and made sure everything was good.
When you have players like that, especially Mark Naples, who's at your games and feeding back into the program after they graduate, what does that mean to you that you have leaders that don't just say goodbye to the program and then step out and don't come back? You have guys that are pouring into the program as alumni that want to see you guys succeed even after they're done playing in the jersey.
It just shows that they care. Like they really want to see us win. Like they just come to the game, support us, and they just show like they actually care about like us.
And now, with all the success comes role models yourself. You get a lot of young players that come up to you and they want to be where you're at when they hit the varsity level. What's that like to know that you have a lot of young eyes on you and you have a lot of young basketball players in the South Range community that look up to you guys now as the varsity level basketball team?
Like I just want them to learn that like we like even though like it might like we started our season all off 0-5 like that. I mean that's not very good, but like we learned from it and we made our changes and then we got better. I just want them
If
to like I just want them to like learn that like even if it starts off bad, it can always get better.
if one of those kids came up to you and asked for one piece of advice, like what does it take to get to where you're at? What would you say to them?
Uh, like my favorite like I love this quote. It says that I would tell them you might not understand or you might not know now, but you will understand later. This like it kind of like just says like you don't know why this is happening now, but like everything happens for a reason. You will eventually understand why it happened.
If you reflect on your youth and when you were starting to get into basketball and you wanted to play as a little kid, what were some things that you wish someone would have told you back then?
I mean, like I wanted someone to tell me like that like I don't know like I always had the right mentors when I was younger, and like they always told me the right stuff. I feel like, and like that just really helped me to get better to how I am today.
And now that we go into your future and obviously the things that you want to get better at, and it's that time of your life where you have to start thinking about things you want to do in your future. What things come to mind when you think about life after high school and you think about what you want to do after you graduate from South Range?
I'm thinking like I'll probably go into pre med maybe, or I might go into like financial advising. Like pre med, I would go like sports medicine, like the sports medicine route, and like help with like physical therapy and all that type of stuff.
It's also that time when you start to look at colleges and you start to look at where you want to go. You want to travel, or do you want to stay a little bit close to home when you thinking about colleges?
I mean, I think I might I'm thinking about trying to transfer, but like my first year, I definitely want to stay at home just because like so I get comfortable with the college feel, and then eventually I'll probably move away.
What's the dream state? If you could live in any state, where would you want to go to college?
Uh, I would say probably South Carolina. I'm a big South Carolina fan.
Okay, well there you go. Awesome, Gamecocks, roll with it. Um, Dylan, thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system and all the people that have been there for you.
All right, I'm gonna shout out to my mom, my dad, my grandma, and grandpa, and I'm gonna shout out to Brady Crumbacher, aka LaCrum James.
Awesome, Dylan. Thank you so much for joining us. Good luck in tomorrow's district semifinal. Wish you the best of luck, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
All right, thank you.